As always, we're leaving coffee. Dad's in front of me with the. He hauls that Ranger to and from work every day, and out here it really makes it nice having it. It saves us a lot of walking, a lot of steps, and we can put everything in the back of that Ranger and take with us as we go. So I think today we're just going to do some cutting. We're not going to drag anything today. We had a pretty good day dragging yesterday, but we're going to work all weekend long since we got kind of a break in the weather. I guess now they're kind of upping the rain chances for next week, so we'll work all weekend. Probably try to cut today and tomorrow. Then Monday and Tuesday we'll probably try to drag. That way we can have a decent pile out and get them ready to go. And I would say we'll probably start trying to cut some oak and sycamore and stuff like that before long too. One of the local mills, we sell our oak and pallet type stuff too. This wet weather's kind of got them pinned down. They're needing some logs pretty bad. Usually when they get to where they need logs, they become a little more generous with their stick when they're scaling them, because they want, if you can cut logs, if they need logs and you can cut logs, they want to really do well to show you that they want you to get some logs for them. So we try to use the weather in our advantage when we can. So that's that. I'm sure somebody's going to ask how come I'm not riding with Dad. Even though we're just cutting today, and normally I would ride with Dad to work, or vice versa. And I always like, if it wasn't for Dad hauling his Ranger, we'd take my truck. I always like taking my truck just because we always have everything we need on my truck. Where, I mean, when you're cutting, you don't need a lot, chainsaws, wrench, gas and oil, but I feel a lot better going to work having everything. It always gives me that peace of mind. I like knowing I've got everything I need on my truck. But I'm going to cut with an 88 today. Dad's kind of been getting on to me a little bit because I've been trying to cut those trees. There's cutting them low to the ground, but then there's cutting them too low. And that's the problem I've kind of been getting into. I've been trying to cut them too low. I know that probably sounds silly, cutting a tree too low, but I am, and I know it's my fault. I'm trying to cut them too low, and I'm getting into the dirt and getting into the rocks. And that's where the 880s come in, is because that 404 chain, I mean, other than the rocks, it will handle the dirt a little better. It doesn't get as dull as fast. It will stay sharp. When you're boring those walnut trees out, it seems like that 880, it'll punch through and bore just a little better than that 661. I'm not knocking the 661s at all, because I do really like them, and we run a lot of them, but I do like my 880s for things like this, mainly for bucking logs, but more cutting these bigger walnut and getting low to the ground when you're getting into some, because those cattle, they'll rub up on them walnut trees too, kick dirt and stuff up on them, wall around them. So that I do like the 80s in that aspect of things with the 404 chain. So Dad's running off and leaving me, so I better speed up and let's go cut some trees. It's a windy day to be cutting. We're out here in this pasture ground, just kind of getting the stragglers before we dive into that strip patch of timber there and down off over the holler. That's where majority of them are, but they're scattered out in this open country, so we're trying to get it. Dad, he's cutting that 661. I'm using the 880 today. As I said earlier, I was going to use it. I need to touch my chain up a little bit. It's not dull, it's still cutting. Guess I need to learn how to work the camera. But at the same time, Dad told me one time, years ago, my dad don't ever say much. Anybody that knows my dad, he's pretty quiet, but Dad told me one time, he said the key to keeping a sharp saw is never letting it get dull. And man, that's the truth, man. You never want to. All it takes now, you know, it won't take much. I'll just touch that up a little bit with the file. I don't know where Dad's put the files at. There they are. He hides things. No, yeah, I guess that's them. But yeah, you can touch it up just a little bit, hit each tooth, make a couple passes on them, and you're good to go. So I'm gonna touch it up before I go back to do any more cutting. Well, we've cut several this morning already. Of course, if me and Dad both cutting, we can get several of them laid down. But like I said, there's been areas back over here where we started. We just kind of started in that kind of the draw, worked our way up there, and now we've kind of looped around, cutting across here because that's on somebody else over there, that heavy timber is. So we're just kind of getting these, and that way they'll be done and out of the way. And we're not cutting the logs out. We're leaving the top and everything intact because we'll drag those treetops and pile them like we have been the whole job. So that's part of the big reason we do that. And we're not going to drag any logs for a couple days. We're going to cut these and kind of let them air out a little bit before we. Oh boy, I'm pushing buttons. Before we do anything, see if we can see Dad. He's clipping the ears now, so we'll bring this one down here real quick. That wind's really starting to pick up. It's really amazing how fast things dry when that wind's blowing like it is. Man, it's a great day to be cutting logs too. It's probably about 70 degrees with a good northwest wind. Just kind of a cool breeze. Wind probably gusting around 20 mile an hour. It's not too terrible to work. Now if it starts picking up anymore, it might cause a problem, but right now it's not bad at all. It's starting to rock a little bit. There it goes. Heard it pop. Yep, there she goes. And it's amazing how many trees we've had to take a hammer and wedge to. I think we've already wedged over 4 trees this morning because these big pasture trees, the bushy tops, they'll just sit there. I mean, those tops, they bush out and they distribute weight well, so they sit there. So we've had to hammer and wedge them over, which I hope we don't have to anymore. Because look at the hammer. Had a mishap. Let's go try to get some more. I'm driving down here. We wanted to make sure there was a gate right here to get through there, which there is. But I can remember when I was a young teenager, me and Dad used to coon hunt this bluff right here. That timber you see there, I mean, that belongs to another farmer, but the creek's it's not too far in through there. And we used to coon hunt this bluff. We used to really catch a lot of coons in here long before I ever hunted it with Dad. Dad used to hunt it himself, and he said them old coons would come off that creek when they used to have corn over there and come up on this bluff. And the trouble was there's so many little nooks and crannies and caves that a lot of times they'd get in there, and the dog would tree them in there, or bay them, whatever you can call it. You wouldn't be able to get them out. But I remember one time in particular on this bluff here, we struck a tree, and I think there was 7 or 8 coons on that one tree. That was the most I ever seen this tree at one time. And I remember treeing, 2, 3, and 4. It didn't happen a lot, but it happened. But that one time we treed 8. That was pretty neat. We really had a heyday with that. The old dog, he really liked it too. That's a big tree there. I was kind of wanting to cut it, but Dad, if you don't watch him, he'll beat you to the punch to cut these big trees. If it's a kind of an old rough thing or just a run-of-the-mill tree, he'll sick me on it or let me have it. But I'd kind of had my sights set on that one, and Well, he bailed right off this Ranger. That's a heck of a tree there. Getting ready to come down now. I say that. Kind of make me look like a fool, isn't it? Of course, anybody that knows me or watches this knows I'm kind of a fool anyway. I still kind of laugh at the fact that my dad wears overalls now. He didn't used to wear overalls. I think here in about the last year and a half or 2 years, he started wearing overalls. I still kind of laugh at the fact that he does. Well, need to try to wedge it over, I guess, and standing there. Well, that's kind of got a wrap on it for today. The wind's starting to pick up pretty good, and it's almost 11:30. Not a super long day, but we probably got 30 or 35 cuts. So when you're cutting walnut, that's pretty good. There's where the little 540B cable skidder's parked right there. Probably, I might jump on it tomorrow and take it over there where we were just to have it close, which it's not but just a stone's throw across there. But we're gonna work tomorrow too. Like I said, with the wet weather, we need to make up some time, get out here and try to get some cut and piled up. Which, anytime we can cut 30 or 35 plus trees, walnut trees a day, is a pretty good day. Guys that cut a lot of walnut, I mean, especially when you're cutting bigger trees, the time it takes to cut them and get them on the ground properly. Because we bore out every one of those walnut trees, so they take a little longer to cut. No notch and no hinge, none of that stuff. We don't waste any wood, and that's something I got to watch myself about, because I'm getting too greedy and I'm cutting too low to the ground, and I'm not looking at all four sides of the tree like I should, and I might get my nose to the saw into some dirt, and I rocked it the other day, if you guys watched that video. So I'm getting a little too greedy, because next thing you know, I'll be out here with a backhoe or a track hoe digging around the tree and trying to cut way into the root system. It's that bad. But I like to cut them low. I like to get them to the ground, and I like to cut them as low as I can. But oh my gosh, I dropped you guys. Went for a ride. I don't know which is the right way, but anyway, rough old road. But yeah, I'm getting a little too greedy. I need to come up an inch or two, kind of keep from that. But guys, thanks a lot for following as always. Doing some spraying out there on the ranch. Yeah, thanks a lot for following as always. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share the videos. Any questions? I've had more of you guys message me on Facebook, and that's really the best place to get a hold of me, is message me on Facebook on our Facebook page. So I love talking to some of you guys. Got some great questions, and glad I can help out. I mean, if I'm any help at all, but I always enjoy talking with you. But I'm sure there was something else I was going to say, but I don't remember what it was. So, but I guess we'll be out here again tomorrow. So we should see you guys tomorrow. I need to get my GoPro fired back up so I can get some good some good action videos. That 88 in use. I know a lot of you guys like seeing that 88. I enjoy, and personal preference is what it comes down to. I like running it. You can run forever on a tank of gas, it seems like. I mean, it seems like it almost takes a gallon to fill up, but I like running the 88s a lot better. I really do. They cut, in my opinion, they cut better, stay sharper longer. I mean, I don't know. Different strokes for different folks. But guys, I'm gonna get off here. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go eat. After that, I don't know what I'm gonna do for the rest of the day. Try to find something to occupy my time. Guys, see you next time.